Mm. All right, learning on a Friday afternoon, that's a big call for anybody. So congratulations for being able to do it. I'm Dante. I'll be taking you through a very, very fast-paced one today of trying to create a lot of content for social media and other platforms just out of one blog post from your website or from anywhere you like, really. It's going to move really fast. So I do warn you of that. We're going to use a bunch of tools. So I'll get us underway so we can get as much of it done as absolutely possible. Just so you know, this is part of Business Station's Australian Small Business Advisory Services Digital Solutions Program, delivered in Western Australia by Business Station, Queensland by Regional Development Australia, Brisbane, and in the Northern Territory by Treaty Business Consulting. This will be available next week on the YouTube channel of Business Station. So if you just go looking for that, you'll be able to read it all over again. I usually pull the files out of this too and post it on my own YouTube channel as well. You can look me up, Dante St James, and I'll usually have that in by the end of the day, next day at the latest. A little bit about me. If you haven't come across me before, I'm a head of a digital agency called Clickstart. Operates across regional Australia with bases in Gold Coast, Darwin, and also in the Adelaide Hills. I work with Treaty Business Consulting out of Darwin as well as their head of digital. I'm certified Facebook, Google, and marketing planner, marketing trainer for the Australian Marketing Institute. And I chronically collect badges and qualifications because that's kind of my hobby, I guess. Some people make timber canoes. I decide I'm going to learn a lot. It's weird. So what we're going to do today, we're going to select a blog or an article. I've got one ready lined up to go that I'm going to use as the basis of this. We're going to identify the different places we're going to post to, as well as the different tools we're going to use to post those into and to create the content around. And then we're going to create that content. Now you're probably thinking, how in the heck are we going to get all this done? We're going to use some tools like Canva. We're going to use all these different social platforms, including a place called Medium. I'm going to use InVideo for video, but I'm also going to show you a look inside a thing called Krello that I've been using a lot lately, which is a little bit cheaper than Canva's Pro, but it has a lot of templates like Canva that are just a little bit different, I guess, from the ones you see all the time that people use on Canva. How we'll do it is basically by creating a bunch of image posts based upon the content in each of these, in this blog that we're looking at. So we're looking at 3 Facebook feed posts, 3 Instagram feed posts, 3 LinkedIn feed posts, 3 Twitter feed posts, if you use Twitter, video posts, on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So you can create YouTube videos in these as well. We're going to look at stories, so either videos or we can make them just image stories on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Now, despite the fact that we have got one blog article, you can take multiple pieces out of that blog article and create different content from it. So that's one of the first things we'll do is look at what content we're going to pull out of that blog to be able to turn it into content. And then we're going to create articles. So you can replicate your articles on LinkedIn articles. If you've got a LinkedIn account, that's probably the easiest way to do it. There's another place called Medium that works very, very similarly to LinkedIn articles. And it's kind of like an online newspaper or magazine where you can join for free and you can post content on there. It helps with your recognition, your brand recognition, and you also get a profile on there that becomes part of what is Googleable about you. If you've got these, now I know you can't set them up new anymore, but if you've done them before, there's a thing called Facebook Notes. Certain Facebook pages can do this because they have previous notes. I know mine can. It's basically like a blog layout within Facebook. Will they stick around forever? Probably not. But if you've got them, you've still got them. But if you've not done them before, you're probably going to find it a little hard to set them up. And there's also your website blog and things like your email newsletter. All up, that's a lot more than just 30 things. You can do all sorts of them. For a bit of extra credit, you might want to try using Pinterest, Reddit, or Hub Pages. Hub Pages is very similar content-wise as like an online magazine, much the same as Medium. Reddit's like a forum you can post stuff to and people can comment on it. And Pinterest is where you post pretty pictures, I guess, and a few videos as well. So let's give this a crack. I'm just going to get out of this screen and go into this one. In one of my websites, I'm going to take this particular article from September, which is about making your website better on mobile phones. And I've got a very strong structure that goes with it. So you go breaking it down into like an introduction, and then I'm going into very strong points, all of which I can pull out of this. So for instance, I can say that you want to make a better mobile website, start with shorter sentences and simple language. So that might be one of the points we take out. Another one might be how to keep sentences shorter when you're writing. So you can have these 3 points come up as a post as well. I can go structuring your text is another way. So that's another point we could pull out. So each one of these subheadings, and I use a lot of subheadings in my blog posts and articles, simply because it lets me use them again and again for different things. So I can make 2 weeks of posts out of this one alone, because all these dot points I've got, each one of those can be a post of its own. So the first one I'm going to pull out is a little bit of a rundown on how to take your mobile friendly website to mobile first. So the first thing I'm going to do is hop into Canva. If you don't know Canva, you're going to know it very well at the end of this one. I'm kind of assuming that just about all of you have used Canva in one way or shape or form. I've got a pro version of Canva. Some things maybe a tiny little bit different, but I don't know. I just don't think there's not a really big difference between the paid and the unpaid version, except I get more access to stock videos and stock footage along the way. So first of all, we're going to create what was on our pieces of content. I'll go back there. So we've got the Facebook feed, Instagram feed, LinkedIn feed, and Twitter feed, which can all be kind of the same shape. So popping back into Canva, I'm going to create a Instagram post because it's a square post. That will also work in Facebook, also work in LinkedIn, also work in Twitter. So I can do the same thing multiple times. I'm going to take this piece here. I'm going to say how to take your mobile friendly website to mobile first. So what I'll look for, I guess, is some pictures that really match that. So I'm going to go on the photos, search through the stock photos they've already got and go mobile phone. All right, so I can see mobile phones here. I've got to find one that looks decent. Maybe this one. It's got a lot of stuff around it. And then I want to sort of jump like a website kind of icon in there because there's not really anything in there that sort of says website. So I'm going to go to my elements and pick out web. So it's giving me some things here that are kind of webbish. And I can find one that looks really appropriate for what I'm looking for, particularly something with a mobile in it, something like that. Or let's go, what do we go? Mobile web. Oops, I'm not trying to save. Mobile web. That's better. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Something like this. So I can then pop in something structural like this and go in over the top of this little thing here. And I might want to create something else. In fact, I don't really like that one, so I'm going to pick out something else. Maybe this one. So I've started to create a bit of a montage or a bit of work here that's going to give the idea I'm talking about something to do with mobile on the web. And then to add a little bit of stuff to it, I'm going to add a little bit of text to it. I'm going to grab that heading and I'm going to pop in to my text, pick out some text, copy and paste that in, then sort of and they've already created a graphic straight away. There's nothing particularly special. I might go, I don't want that one. I want to do something else. I want to grab something that's a little bit more simple. So we saw this one's quite simple. That one's quite simple. Maybe this one's even more simple. Look at that. And I can even turn this around so it kind of looks like it's meant to be on there. Make my writing a little bit bigger if I want to. And then I've got the basis of a post there. I don't want to overdo the words on there because it just makes it a little bit too busy, but I can play around with, if I wanted to make it a little bit less of a modern font and make it a little bit more sort of classic. Might want to take my line height and squish it together a bit more so it doesn't look quite so spaced out. And then I'm going to download that piece there. That now forms the beginning of one of my pieces of content. So remember, we're looking over here. We're going to do 3 Facebook feeds pieces of content. So that's number 1. And then what I'm going to do as part of the post is include the text that I've got in that blog. So this blog here, I can go, if you want to take your mobile friendly site to a mobile first website, try these tips, ... each one of those points. And that becomes the text in the post. So I'm going to do very, very similar kind of thing now and create another version of this. So let's take maybe the shorter sentences in simple language. So I'm going to create another one of these. And then we're going to find something, a template to do with mobile again. Oops. There we go. So I want to take something that's a little bit less, I don't know, they all feel very salesy to me. I like working with photos a lot more because I find I can do a bit more with them. So I'll go mobile again and we'll find something else around about mobiles. So maybe this one, it's kind of cool. I might want to use some white writing on this one because it's got a dark background. So I'll again get my text out, or I can go to my previous one and grab the text. If I like the format of that text, I can copy and then paste it onto this new one like that. I just used Control-C, Control-V or Alt-C, Alt-V if you're on a Mac. And then bring it down here maybe. And I'm going to change that to using shorter sentences makes your website more mobile friendly. Now I can play around with this a bit more, add a few more elements if I wish to. So if we wanted to add in something that's a bit more mobily over here, so it looks like it's a little bit more of an informational post. And therefore I've got my second one. So I'm taking another piece out of that. Now I can then, for the text, take some of this text out of here. So I can say mobile websites are not the place for people to linger longer than they need to. One way to help your reader find the information they need is to serve it up quickly. Short sentences get them to the point faster. That's great. That plus a little bit of the other one, and that becomes the text that I'm going to copy and paste into my Facebook post. So bearing in mind that these are also going to be Twitter posts, LinkedIn posts as well, you're getting a lot of value, a lot of bang for your buck out of each one of these posts. Let's do another one. So we're going to, not start with an image. I'm going to start with an Instagram post shape again. This time I'm going to use the template. I'm going to call this one something like smart. I'm looking for something that's smart. None of those are really calling to me loud. So I'll go phone. This is kind of clever. It looks like a phone notification. So I'm going to select that one. I might change the background a bit though, rather than being like all of that. So I'm going to pick out website. I might be looking for someone who's going to design websites. So all this sort of stuff kind of looks good. And when you get a picture in there, you can sort of move it around to put different elements of the picture in different positions. So it kind of does look like I'm doing a website design. I might want to pull that up there a bit so it doesn't cover up the picture too much. And now I'm just going to change the message in there. So it says messages, and it's going to say, want a better mobile website. And we'll take another piece of information out there. Structure your text. Lists, use lists. So we're going to go use lists because they are easier to read when people are consuming content on the go. So that's like a little bit of information. I can then take a chunk of the text out of this. So why lists important, bang, I can put that in, and those words become the basis of the text part of the post on Twitter or LinkedIn or on Facebook or even Instagram for that matter. You may want to add in some hashtags specifically for Instagram and LinkedIn if you want. They're still quite powerful in both those. Not really a huge need to do it on Facebook, even though hashtags seem to be making a bit of resurgence on LinkedIn again, on Facebook again. So what we've done now is gone and created 3 posts for each of these. Now I could go deeper and go, if I want to create something that's absolutely perfect on every kind of thing for LinkedIn and Twitter, we could do that. What we're going to do is move on now to video posts. I actually might skip video and do that towards the end because that one is on a different tool. We're going to create the stories now. So Instagram stories, Facebook stories, LinkedIn and YouTube also have stories. So what I'm going to do is start them based, and they're all the same shape. So again, you're getting bigger bang for your buck by doing those. So we're going to do 3. What we're going to do is start with Instagram stories because that's where people are most used to dealing with stories format. I'm going to go pop in and create a story. So I'm going to bring the story, and it's going to give us the Instagram story shape. See how they're all the same, 1920, 1080 by 1920, 1080 by 1920, 1080 by 1920. So even if I took the LinkedIn one, take that one as well. They're all the same shape, shaped like a phone. So again, what we're going to do is do versions of the content that's in here. So we can probably go easy on the images, big pictures and big photos of Public Enemy #1. So that sounds like a good place to start with creating a story. So we can take any one of these already preset templates if we like. Maybe this one looks kind of cool. You may want to change this through to what your colors are, for instance. If these don't really suit what your color thoughts are, just swap your colors around a bit. And I can say, want a faster loading website. I can put down the bottom, take that text out, not all of it, just the text. Ungroup this. You can see I use Canva a lot, so I've learned all the little tricks there. Change the color of my text to the darker blue again. Go easy on the number of images you put on each page. And I can then add in a few elements that make this a little bit more exciting. So a little bit more like maybe slow. Yeah, maybe slow. There's a slow one. So we can get that idea that it's a slow website if you use too many images. And that gives me a really quick and easy story I can use. Now it's just a graphical story. It's not a video story. We can do that as well. In fact, we can create this into one. So if we'll do this one, let's do another 2. So we've kept to our story. I'm going to grab another piece of content out of here. We're going to say lighter, leaner designs, buttons instead of links, keep titles shorter. So we're going to take these 2 points here and make them mobile first design points. So I'm going to find another one of these sort of layouts that I like. If nothing really grabs me, I can always just do the same as I did before, just grab a photo and then type over the top. But some of these ones for stories are actually really, really good. I really like the look of these. I can then change this. Actually, I'm going to take that logo out and replace it with my logo or one of my logos. So I'm going to go into my photos, my logos, wait for them all to load. There's a lot of logos in there, clearly. And we're still going. Back up here, back up here. Come on, buddy. There we go. And if I wanted that to stand out, so you're also getting like a little bit of a tutorial here on how there's tricky things you can do with Canva to make things work better. So I'm just going to put in a white background on that because I want this shape to be behind my logo, and then position it backwards. And there you go. I've got it showing out like the other one, a little bit bigger than I'd like it to be. So I might make it a bit smaller. Take that one, take that one. There we go. That sits there like that other logo did. So I've made it a bit more me. I can also go, you know what, I might want to put my own photo on there, or I might want to put the photo of something else in the background instead of that particular photo. So if I go, you know, web design, so we can start to look at all these sort of webby kind of design oriented things. This one looks kind of cool. And then I can change that into my colors. And they've got a little triangle there. I'm going to make that a brighter blue. There we go. And we can ask that same question. Want a better mobile website? They're going to add in those other 2 points. Remember they were here. I'm going to copy those. I'm going to pick up some text and put them in there. Grab my text, put it in the box. There's my 2 points. I might want to take some more than that. 2 looks really, really short. Maybe add a 3rd point. And then what I might want to do is just make sure it all fits in this box to begin with. So grab that area, drag it in. So it looks neat and tidy. And then I think if I left justify it and give it some dot points, it makes a bit more sense. So remember, you've got about 15 seconds to read a story on just about all platforms. So you've got to make sure you don't have too much stuff in there. Also, I like to leave a little bit more room at the bottom here because you usually have those swipe up and action buttons down here a bit. So I'm just going to drag all this up just a little bit further so it doesn't sort of interfere with all that. And if I think that image in the background is a little bit too bright and a bit too much, it's quite messy and quite heavy in there, I can do one of 2 things. I can darken this image up a bit. So I just take it back there so it doesn't look quite so dominant. Take it down a bit more, eh? There you go. It looks that little bit more sexy. So that's number 2. Let's create a 3rd one and grab some more details from maybe earlier in the article. So we're going to say why a list is important. We're going to go keeping your article short. I'm going to take that sentence and turn that into a story. So we'll go another story. Pick a template. I'm really liking these speech bubble ones. I think they're quite effective. Especially those of you who are doing coaching things and services, you're selling your time rather than your products. This could be a really good way for you to sort of show off your expertise. So I'll throw this one up here. You have to fiddle around with the format of it a bit, and naturally it's the wrong color. So I want to change that text to maybe that one. I'm going to make this out a bit bigger. There we go. It all looks a bit gappy, so I'm going to take some of the space out of the lines. And I might want to change that font to the one I was using before. And there's another one for us. Not allowing me to save my changes. Come on, Canva, don't go down on me now. Been a lot of issues with our Canva going down of late, so I'm hoping this hasn't gone down now. So we've got 3 stories. I've got 3 graphical posts as well, which is great because what we're aiming for is for all these. So I've actually got those all done. I've now got all of these done. They're all in the same size, the same shape. If I wanted to get really, really fancy, I could actually make variations on that if I had more time. But let's just say you're short on time. You just want to get the most amount of material out of your blog post as possible. Then just replicate Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and all these ones as well, and you're in the right place. Then I can also look at the idea of video posts now. Now, video posts are going to be a really interesting one because you'll think that video posts are actually really hard to make, but they're not that hard, to be honest. What I'm going to do, I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to go into a tool that is going to take my blog and turn it into an automated video. So let's take it all. I might actually take just a bit of it though, because that's a lot of blog. And I'm going to go to a tool called InVideo. Now I use InVideo as my quick Canva alternative for making videos. Now it's a tool that's available for $49 US for lifetime through a thing called AppSumo. We've actually got a discount code for if you do join AppSumo and want to buy that, you get it for $39 for lifetime from AppSumo. So just let me know at the end if you'd like to get that code, or you'd like the referral number to get through there, because that'll give you a $10 discount off that. And what it allows you to do is to use pre-made templates just like Canva. So you can pick them out, decide what you're going to do with that. So they, for instance, they've got things that they're matching to times of the year. In this case, Black Friday might be something you're doing, Cyber Monday. You may have, I don't know, if you're American, you could be doing Thanksgiving or World Television Day. And what they will do is actually take those times and create templates around them. So they don't have huge amounts of them. There's a couple they've got there. They're in that particular kind of shape. Or if I go back, I'll say that's because I chose YouTube landscape. If I was to choose something like a Facebook newsfeed, it's a far more common one. And as I go down the calendar again, I'm probably going to find a few more items that fit that. So there's just two, for even just for International TV Day. So then even in there, you've got some content where you can pick out just exactly what it is, and you wouldn't have to change a thing. You just might want to add your logo in it or something just to make it yours. So there's plenty of stuff you can do in there that really will cut down the time it takes to make a video. What we're going to do though is use this tool here called text to video. I'm going to make my video for YouTube to start with, and then I might do the same for Facebook and for stories as well. So for YouTube, it's going to tell me what is the kind of look you want for your video. So you want to go something like this, and it'll show you what it looks like. Something like this that has a bit of writing in it. This one where the writing is the whole point of it. Or just find something that we feel that's going to suit us. That's actually going to suit your business. I kind of like the look of this one, so I'm going to take this one out. It's got music in there too, which you can change, or you can change what you're going to use it as. But I'm going to take it for the widescreen YouTube. And what it's going to do now is say, hey, you want to add some text in here, ready to go. So I can add the headline and go from there. So the headline can be, so my story I'll put down here. That's going to be my headline. And then it's going to automatically suggest images and videos in the library, in the InVideo library, to turn into something. I could also go a step further, and I could just go this address here, copy that in, and here, and tell it to fetch that entire article and suggest a video to make. So let's try that one, because it's a bit of fun just watching it do what it does. Might take a while, it's a long story. So now we can, here's what it's grabbed. It's suggesting how to break it up as you hover on the content, how to break that up. So you can go, okay, how much do you want to do? I'm going to tell it to auto summarize. And that's going to take out just pieces of it. So there might be things that might jump out of there. That one I don't want. Maybe that one out. Here's a point, here's a point. That's a point. Take that one out. And you can then take out the points of the story that you don't want to have in there. So I'm going to take all of those for now and go to a storyboard. And that storyboard is going to, it doesn't want it to be quite that long, but it's going to do it anyway. And it's going to go through there and it's going to suggest a whole bunch of animated bits and videos and scenes, and it's going to put the text in there automatically. So it's going to auto create to a degree, a video based upon your selection of text. Now you can see why it's probably better to just pre-select a bit of the article rather than do the whole thing, because it does take a fair while to render up that video because it's so long. So I might even take a leaf out. I know it's probably about to come up, but I'm just going to add the stuff in here that we had before. So I think that just this little bit here as the headline is going to be just quite enough for a nice short video for us. And pop in there. Where did my headline go? Let's try that again. There we go. And now if I go next, it's going to then much more quickly start suggesting the kinds of videos and bits that are going to go in there. So it's going to break it into a few scenes, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's got a few in there. I think this is the other video that it took. But even so, with the other video it took, it's suggesting now the kinds of videos that I might want to put in there. Now, I don't necessarily want that in there. I might want to go, let's get some free videos and go web design. Oops. And we can pick up some free videos that they've already got. So I might think, okay, this here might be the background that I want. So it's 10 seconds long. I don't want it to be that long, maybe 5 seconds. And it gives me that to use in the background of that video. So I can preview what the first screen is going to look like. So it's just like an opening screen. It's way too long. So I might want to jump that down a little bit because it is a bit long. Choke it down to 5 seconds. So it's just an opening screen, nothing really much to say there. And then I can go down to my next one. So by now you should have a website that's made for people to view on handheld devices like mobile phones. So in the background, I'm not really seeing much about a mobile phone there. So I'm just going to grab a mobile phone video and put that in the back. There you go. She looks all right. I'm going to make that one last for 5 seconds as well. So cutting it down, 5 seconds, probably 4 actually. It's not that much, not that many words. Check out that one. And now I've got a mobile phone in the background. So when I want to look at this, it's going to show me something that's relevant in the background. So what you're essentially doing here is creating yourself a video version of your blog. Now this has taken up the whole page of that blog. I might want to pop into the script one, and that's the full long script of it all. I might want to change that now to the shorter version I wanted to pick up before, because that's like way too long, isn't it? And then grab the points, and that will be the whole length of my video. Let's pop out and recreate that from scratch, eh? Pull out my video style and go for the headline and the story. Headline again. So I'd confused the system by doing a couple of things at once. So it wasn't particularly happy with what I decided to do. This will be a lot easier though, because now it's just going to be a few points. And we're going to create ourselves about maybe a 60-second long video or maybe 30 seconds long. So it won't be quite so long, quite so laborious, but it will be, there you go, really quickly brought it up. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 scenes on it. Much more easy to do. So we start our first one. If we're happy with that design, we're happy to stick with that. That's fine. How to design a website, a website for mobile first. Use buttons instead of links. So in there we can probably, I wouldn't call that a buttons thing. So we might look for a video that is web design again. So we've got things that kind of look buttony in there. Come on, we'll find one. Maybe we'll just type in button. There we go. So we'll take that one, it's got a button, and replace it with the one that was already there. Make it nice and short. Maybe 4 seconds. There you go. So you've now got a button showing in there. As we press play, then we can go to the next one. Keep the title shorter. So we can look for something which is like writing. So I have words there. That looks good. Again, we'll cut that one down to about the 4-second mark. We don't want to make this a super long video. And again, play the preview. Having trouble bringing it in. Try again. Come on, buddy, you can do it. There you go. Now we can go to the next one. Now that music we can actually change as well. And we're going to add in for this one, reduce the size of the text in your titles and subtitles. It's got a lot of words in it. So let's just stick with that one. That looks pretty good to me. I want to just increase the length of some of these. They feel like they're a little short. And then using white space to break up your text rather than images. So what I might do is this one's got a lot of white space in it. So I'm going to use that one. Make it last around about 5 seconds because there's a bit more text on the screen to read. And then I can get them my last one, which is put your title at the top of the page. So I'm going to go title. See if we can find a video that's got title in it. Now these free videos are all included. There are premium versions of videos. You get a certain amount that you can use per month. I think you only get about 5 you can use as a lifetime subscriber. And you can find something that works for you. For me, I'm not really finding anything I want in there, so I'm going to look for web design again. And we'll pick out something that's very sort of codish and nerdy. There we go. How about that? Take that down to 5 seconds. And that is now a full video that's been designed for us. I don't like the music very much, so I'm going to change that to something a bit less dramatic. Let's make it happy. Sounds good to me. Let's replace the music. And we've now created video number 1 that I'm going to export. Now that's going to work for YouTube. It's going to work for Facebook. It's going to work for any platform. The one that it won't probably work for too well is things like stories on Instagram and Facebook and such. So you may want to do that again in a shape that suits an Instagram story or even a square, which we can do. We can take that same stuff and do the same process again, but as a square. So that helps us to tick a box of creating a YouTube video, which will also work as your LinkedIn feed. We may want to do a square version now of Facebook and Instagram. You can see how fast you can start to move through all these. In a very, very short amount of time, we've created a lot of very usable content just using a few tools that are not particularly, like some of them are free. Canva's free to start with. And you can also create videos in Canva. And I'm going to go back in a second. I'm going to create some tricky little videos in Canva that we can then use to prop up the video content that's coming through on our social media properties. So this one's doing its bit in the background, so I'm just going to pop back into Canva. I'm going to get rid of all these because I've already created them all. Out, and over to you. And then we're going to create a Instagram story. But this time we're going to make it animated. We're going to add some animation to it. So we've got another video piece of content. So we're not going to create a long drawn out story like this one is where it's got multiple scenes. We're just going to have this one scene, but we're going to add some animation to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is look for something that's very web designy. Say this one again. I might grab an element such as a circle. Give him a white head. Throw in some text. I'm going to go I'm going to put my text in there, make it work so it sits in where I want it to sit. Got some real problems in Canva today. It's just dropping in and out all day. I think that poor tool is growing faster than it can cope with. Make it a little bit bigger so we can actually read it. And what I'm going to do now is adjust that down so it's a bit darker. I'm going to add some elements that are moving. So I can go to elements and look here at stickers. You can see lots of moving things. So I'm going to see what things I've got in here that I can use that will automatically turn this from a graphic. There we go. Here's our video. So we'll go back to that in a sec. And I want to find some moving elements that will work for this. So I can take the little 100 thing. It's usually supposed to indicate, yep, agree 100%. That immediately now turns that into an 8-second video. So it was just a graphic. It's now an 8-second video. And you'll be surprised the difference it makes to your engagement levels when you add a couple of these in your feed every so often, instead of just doing a graphic, because it does get people's attention because it is moving. So I might want to add another couple of elements in there without it becoming too stupid and out there. Let's just look for a tick. And I see a moving tick. So all these ones are kind of like got colors changing. That's not so bad. So it's just got a couple of elements in there that have made that now into a video. So when you've immediately got a video, you've got something that someone is going to notice a lot more quickly when it comes up on their feed or in their stories. And it just has that element of interactivity to it, even if you don't have anything to do with it. It's more inviting. Now, when you think about that, that means you can up your video content, not just for stories, but you can then do that for anything really. We can go looking for a Facebook post. And we can make our Facebook post also moving. So we're just chuck in a photo. Again, in my case, I'm going to try something different. We're going to say massage. So I could damn well use one right now. And then I can add motion into that, words. And I'm going to add a little bit of motion with these elements. So what I'm going to do is create, so it looks like we've kind of got like a candle over here. So I'm going to see if I can find a flame. And I want one that's sort of moving. Not seeing a lot of moving ones. I'm going to try stickers, flame. That's better. Now we're starting to get more there. Not that any of them seem to be moving though. What I can do is just go and find something else that I feel like is going to sit in there, maybe a sparkle. I might want to put that sparkle down, on where all these elements are. Immediately, it's turned into a 6-second video that's going to loop for me. Might want to create something that's a bit better than that. So maybe relax. Looking for something that sort of says what relax is. Not a lot. But we can try something like chill, maybe. It's a little moving star. That's probably something that's quite cute that you can add in. Just anything that's going to create something that's going to make it worth looking at just that little bit. And then also, you've got now a video rather than just a graphic. So you can start to see how our little list over here of videos starts to, you can get just one, that was all we were aiming for. We've already in probably about 5 minutes created 2. And we can continue to create more and more and more. And another tool we can do that in is Krello. So Krello is another one of those, you pay it once for a year rather than a monthly subscription. You can create yourself a bunch of different styles of videos. If I go, I want to create a Facebook post, it then gives me a bunch of premium templates that I can take through. So if I can take through, you might have a Black Friday sale at your retail outlet, if that's a thing that you do. And then you can just go, well, that looks great on its own. What I want to be able to do is turn this into something which is a bit more me, but what I'd rather have is an animation on there. So we can grab some animations that have already been built in and maybe add in a little dancing There we go. The dancing astronaut. I can bring this forward. And then as I play this, there we go. You've got a great little recurring looping video. Or you can pick out whatever you want, really. Anything that really works for you. You can pick out a little thing that's kind of appropriate for Black Friday sales as well. So you've now, got a video that you can work with. Or if not Black Friday, you can just make it free delivery or something like that. That's not a word. Let's put the words in there. So we're looking for text. Grab any of this kind of text that really looks great to us. I'm going to take, which one? Maybe it's the hardest thing is where you get in there, you go, I just want to do everything. I want to try everything and I want to make it perfect. We can go Monday sale. Monday discounts, perhaps. And then just change your colors as you want to. Make that one white. And then I've got something that's a bit more personalized to me. And I can always add my logo on there as well. So all these sort of things are available in Krello or in Canva as well. I just think Canva, you can make a lot of really cool, relaxing kind of things. But Canva also allows you to make longer videos. So I can make a YouTube video as well, up to 10 minutes long. So I can go YouTube video ad or a YouTube video or an intro to YouTube. I'm just going to make it maybe a YouTube video ad. It's going to make it in the 1920 by 1080p. And it's giving me a whole lot of things I can use to start with, much the same way. So I want to pick out this one, for instance. It's got 4 different scenes to it. So I can then add pages, and then I'm creating a series of screens in that one that you can turn into what you've done, what you want. So I can go chill with us, get some photos or some video. There you go, video. We can say massage video. We start to see that. That's scene 1. The next one can be relax a while. Grab another massage video. Let the world fade away. And then finally, you can have your stuff in here. So we'll call that massage world. Chill your day. I can get rid of that little logo and put my own logo in there if I had one. Massage. So I can take any of these, I think, as like a good looking little logo thing. And then I've got a promotional video that's 45 seconds long. So I want to download that or play it through. Let's have a look at what it looks like. So that's got no music in the background of it yet. Come on, off you go. It's not playing back quite the way I want it to. Quite often the problem when you're trying to do things in Canva, it doesn't quite work the way you want it to work, but I'll just download that. It'll work a lot faster. In the meantime, we can go back to our video over here that we saw, and we've made this longer video. So this one's lasting, what was it, 45 seconds? So I'm just going to play this back for you. I don't know what the music. And there's our video. So that one turned out really quite well. If we wanted to add a bit at the end, we could have added another scene, which is like a closing scene with your logo on it. As you can see, we start to get really close to our little aim here of we've got our Facebook feed and Instagram feed, LinkedIn and Twitter. We've got our video posts now that we've done. So we've done something in the square for these guys and a wider one for this one. We've even made a few extras. We've made Instagram stories, so we can go back and sort of make a few more of those if we like. We only made the one. Let's make another one. Story. And I'm going to take another piece of content from here. I'm going to use that as my as the little pieces I'm going to put in my story. Grab some text. I don't usually like putting quite this much text in a post. Go a bit closer and actually get this right. Come on, we can do it. Come on, play well. That's it. Play nicely. 32, there we go. So we can break that up a bit. I think I actually chose a bit too much text. Let's choose a little bit less, eh? So I'm going to take that little bit of text from it and turn that into a post. Oh, Canva keeps going down. And so this one, I'm going to go back to my photos again, pick out something to do with web design because that's what I'm playing with at the moment. Type it correctly maybe, and you might get the right design. Pick out another web design one. Maybe this one's kind of cute, nice. People who work from home will relate to this one a lot. They're leaving coffee rings all over their tables. I think I put a little element in there. It's going to be a stop. I would like a moving one, so I might go stickers. Give me a lot to do. So I'm going to do the oops thing because I'm talking about when you've kind of made a mistake. And if I've decided that that's actually a little bit too hard to read, what I might want to do is brighten this background image up a bit. There you go. So it's a bit easier to read now. And it gives me a 5-second looping video so that I've got something that's moving in my stories rather than just a plain static image. Now, I'm not a designer by any stretch of the imagination. You might be a lot more design oriented than I am. So I would thoroughly recommend you go through and make this yours. Add logos in there if you want to, add material in there. But what it does start with is a blog post where you've got lots of points that you can drag out. So I could drag that out as a video all on its own. I could drag this out as a video all of its own. I could take these points here. If you want to know how to keep sentences shorter, I've got 3 dot points that become individual scenes on a video as well. Or I could take individual little pieces like keeping your articles short, how to keep your articles short when you're writing them. That could be just one point that I put into the text of the post that I'm making. But I use this as the headline in, let's just make another story because we haven't made all of our stories yet. Take that text, put it in there, nice and big. You're going to go trouble keeping your articles short. And I put photos of a writer in there. Make that white so it stands out. And then I can do something in stories such as the link is in the bio. So I might want to create a button. So I've got a few buttons here. And I can put words inside it. Link in bio. So that means that I've got the link to that article in my bio on Instagram or Facebook or wherever. And again, I don't have to have that just as a plain one here. I can actually make it again by picking out stickers. I can pick something that's moving that I want to have it as, you know, something a little bit more attention grabbing. So you'll find one, maybe one of these ticks. These ticks look good. That one there. And just by putting that tick just down by there, number one, I'm creating a video. And number two, I've got an 8-second video. So it's actually nice and long to go through. So I'm not creating something which is going to just come up on stories and then just fade away super quickly. But it's something that will at least keep it there a little bit longer, and allows people to get their eye drawn to something that's actually making some movement. So again, I'm not a designer. I just know that these things tend to work. So let's recap. We've gone through a whole bunch of these. We've done some videos. We've done some stories. And when we come down to the articles now, in your LinkedIn, so if I go to my LinkedIn, you can take that entire blog post and copy and post it into a LinkedIn article. So here's mine, write article, and allows me then to have a headline, which I can just grab straight from here. And then I can copy and paste all my text in as well. And it will copy that format all the way across into here. It's even copied my subheadings. And then if I want to add an image in there, I can create then an image that fits that. So I can grab any image from Canva, let's just say LinkedIn. So LinkedIn story, video ad, post. Let's go post. I'm going to put their mobile phone. I want a photo of a mobile phone, thank you. There we go, and grab that one. Just going to download that as it is because I don't really need it to be anything fancy because it's just a background photo. Pop up to LinkedIn. Click on here, add that background once it downloads, which is just there. There's my background image. There's my article. And I might want to add something on the bottom to say, you know, originally published at. I can have a link back to the original article. So I create another link, another backlink to my website, which is great for SEO. And then I can publish that. I won't publish this because I've already put this one online before. And then I've also got an account, and it's a free account with Medium. Medium is like an online magazine. So it's a whole lot of great ideas you can read about. I can sign into my one. Just got to remember how to sign into my one. I thought I had an account. And then I can then do the same thing. I don't know why it's not brought across my username and password here, but usually it does. But for some reason, it's decided it won't do it today. If I sign in with Google, that might be how I did it. That would be how I did it. Yep, that's exactly how I did it. So I want to then go and create a story. I could just go write a story. And it's a very similar set out to LinkedIn as well. Grab that one, put it in here, grab my words, go all the way down, whack it in here. It's got everything. It's even inherited my subheadings as well. I might just want to throw in a photo over the top of that. So I'll grab the same photo I got from before. There we go. Now I can publish it. And then I've got a brand new story that adds to this online magazine. And I've had a few people get claps for it. I've had people start following me on it. I've had people comment on it. I've had some that have been featured on Medium as well. So there's plenty of ways you can add yourself into that ecosystem as well. And of course, then you can add into Google My Business. That's one last thing I'll show you. I go to business.google.com. I manage a lot of Google My Business accounts, so mine look a little bit different to yours. But let's say I grab this one. If I wanted to then put a bit of my story in there, I could grab the very start of it because I've only got 1,500 characters you're allowed to work with. So I'll just work with that one. I can go create post, update my status, add a button, which is learn more, and I can tell it to go there to read more about what I'm talking about. That's a COVID update. I actually want that. I don't want that. I want this. And then add my photo. It'll squish it down to the right kind of shape. I'm actually going to post this one because I haven't posted this one to this particular profile yet. So it's all loaded it up. It's got a post in there. It's got a link to where to go. I'm going to publish that. And I'm going to now go to this particular profile. So if I'm going to look for this particular thing on Google. So it's found me. It said, oh yes, I know who this is. It's this person here. And down here, you'll see is where my posts are. And that's the post I just made. So this is the same thing that sort of goes for all sorts of things with Google My Business. I would say it's probably a good idea that whatever you post to Facebook, you also post to Google My Business as well. First of all, it adds a little bit more activity to your information panel there. And secondly, it also enables you to have extra data points that Google's getting about you. The more that Google knows about you, the more that it can find the right clients and the right audience to come to your website. So this is a good place to add that little bit of more information in there. So we've just gone and created a heck of a lot of content based on a couple of tools and one blog post. Now, if you write a blog post a week, you can imagine how much stuff you make. But even if you just created one blog post a month, you're creating so much additional content that you won't need to worry too much about the fact that you're not only writing once a month and not every week, and you should be writing more. You're going to get tons and tons of material to use in lots and lots of different posts right across different social media and different places to publish. So hopefully that gives you some great ideas. Like I said earlier on, I'm going to post this to YouTube a little bit later on. So please, grab that. If you'd like to know more about AppSumo and getting hold of the in-video one, that's the one we created. We put the script in, it created the video for us. I can send you through a code to use when you go to use AppSumo. They'll give you $10 off your purchase of that. So it'll work out being $39 US. I just got Jeanette asking, how long does it take me to write a blog? Do I use other people to write articles for you? Now, I actually write my own. So I write my own. I've been a bit slack lately on writing them. I've been a little bit busy. And normally, that would be a good sign I need to get people to write them for me. But I actually really enjoy writing blogs. So it doesn't take me long to write articles. So I tend to write my own ones. I've got probably another session that I've got ready to go sort of in the next month of how to then write an article. My optimal length is usually around about 700 to 1,000 words. That sounds like a lot, but it's not really that much when you write in a particular structure that I use for it. So I won't go into the structure here. That's a whole other webinar of its own. But I'm pretty sure I'm doing that one in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So please hang around for that one if you see that on the ASBAS list of workshops that are coming up as well. So thank you very, very much. I really appreciate you taking some time out to work in your business this afternoon. I'm going to get onto a one-to-one ASBAS call in a sec, which you can do as well. Just go on to adams.businessstation.com.au. You can book in your one-to-one sessions with people like myself, or people closer to home. If you're in Perth, there's a whole bunch of Perth people, a whole bunch of Gold Coast and Brisbane people and Queensland people, and myself in the Northern Territory. If you want to know more about that, my email address is on the screen there. Please use it and ask any questions anytime. I'd be more than happy to help you out. Thank you very much and have a great weekend.